My name is Anne-Sofie Ahm. I'm an assistant professor at the School of Earth and Ocean Sciences at the University of Victoria. So fundamentally, I'm interested in the history of our planet. And that goes all the way back to the evolution of life, from the first single-cell organisms to the evolution of animals. And actually what I'm really interested in is the co-evolution of life and climate. So how has the environment and life shaped each other through time? Being interested in Earth history and specifically really deep time is problematic because we don't have any records of what happened on Earth a billion years ago, for example. So what I study are carbonate rocks, and these were originally sediments that formed on the seafloor as layers. And over time, these layers have been compressed under higher temperatures and pressures and eventually turned into rocks that we can go and we can sample today. These rocks contain hidden clues of what happened on Earth in the past. But through this process of being turned into a rock, so being compressed and heated up, the chemistry has changed. And so if we actually want to create robust records of what happened in the past, we need to sort of disentangle that noise that has been incorporated into the record. When it comes to doing fundamental science, sometimes it's hard for the public to understand why should I care about these really old banged up rocks that you're looking at. And I think there are many reasons. One is just understanding the physical world around us and deepening our knowledge of the history of our planet. This is not only relevant to planet Earth, it's also relevant to understanding the universe. The other thing that's more down to earth when it comes to studying carbonate diagenesis is that fundamentally that process is the reactions between minerals and fluids in the subsurface. And that's actually also what generates ores and critical minerals, which is essential to the economy of BC. It's also essential to our green transition to cleaner energy sources. And finally, I will say why diagenesis is really, really important for these carbonate rocks is that's actually the ultimate sink of CO2 from Earth's surface. So understanding this long-term sink of carbon is really important for understanding how we could potentially lock away carbon from the atmosphere. Since starting at UVic, one of the things we've been doing is building a new geochemistry lab. And we have gotten funding to build this state-of-the-art metal isotope lab. And we have acquired an instrument which is called a Sapphire. So this is a multi-collector inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometer. And what it can do, it can measure the mass of metal isotopes. That type of geochemical information is opening up whole new ways of understanding how these rocks have been altered. And it will allow us to make even better and more accurate models for this process of carbonate diagenesis, which ultimately unlocks deep time. What I really want to teach is critical thinking, but it's also the hardest thing to teach. How do you make people think, especially in this day and age where critical thinking is kind of not a thing that young people like to do. Information is right at the touch of a button, right? ChatGPT will tell you the answer to anything. And that instant gratification, I feel like as a teacher, I'm fighting against that. When I ask my students hard problems, they really don't want to think about it. But I also think it's the greatest joy as a university teacher when you actually guide a student through that process and you see them, when they get it, that light in their eyes, when they had to do something hard, but they did it at the end and they actually got the right answer. Well, thank you so much to my nominators for nominating me and for their support, and also thank you to CUFA BC for this amazing award.